Good morning, curious minds and deviant debauchery lovers. Quick disclaimer, today's video is going to contain stories of sexual violence and sexually deviant behavior. So if you're not comfortable with that, please don't watch this. So jumping right into things, I guess. I'm telling this because I've spent a significant time alone, and I've also spent a lot of time in counseling. And I had a very long conversation over several months with my therapist or counselor about this particular topic, how my traumas became my kinks. The short version is that your brain tries to rewire bad things that happen to you by reenacting them, in a sense, in a controlled environment so that you can change a negative memory into a positive in your life now. And I personally think that BDSM is a very good outlet when done properly for exploring your more deviant desires. In one of my previous videos, I said that I was a living doll, essentially. I enjoy that. And it took a lot of years of self-reflection because I would do that. I would sit, in my basement, in my shed, in the garage, wherever Nick kept me that day. And I would do a lot of self-reflection and looking back on my life and really just absorbing my situation and being honest with myself about who I was. He would put me in this state where he would always make me feel like there was something wrong with me. Or I was crazy. So I would try to fix that. You know what I mean? And I spent a lot of time really discovering who I was, which is kind of contradictory to being with a narcissist because they really strip your identity away from you. But there's a certain point that you can get to when you're just so fed up with the bullshit that you start to reclaim yourself. And it's usually when you're pulling away from them and you're waking up to their shit, but they will hoover you back in. They'll suck you back in, and then all of the horrible things that they did to you are slowly coming back into the picture again, and you're being brainwashed the whole time to like it, or to not necessarily like it, because one of Nick's favorite things was raping me. And I've been through similar things in my childhood. And I figured out, going back to the living doll thing, maybe that the reason I like to role play so much is because I can put myself in somebody else's shoes during it. When in other situations, all I could do was lay there, take it, and in my head, put myself somewhere else, idealize my life. You know what I mean? And it was kind of an argument between Nick and I, because when I would be me, okay, and not, we're not role playing or anything, because you don't want to do that shit all the time. It can get stale. But it would be when I would be me, his wife, and he would acknowledge this. And he would make this grand show of the day, make me feel so good throughout the day. And then that night would come and he would completely decimate me and do pretty humiliating things. Now, him strangling me, trying to kill me by wrapping his hand around my neck, I, for a long time, had a difficulty with, like, shirts like this. It's too close to my neck. I still have spasms in my throat and stuff from when he did it. And now, though, dude, fuck you. You thought you were gonna turn that into an awful thing for me? No, that became one of my kinks now. Choke me, daddy. Yes, please. Like, give me that hand necklace and watch me light up. But there's different ways to choke somebody. And I'm not going to get into do your own fucking research. Moving on. But I can show somebody how I like it, where to place their hand, make it be muscle memory so that it's done in an enjoyable way. And that, I tried it before that and it was never really a thing. Like, I was like, meh, here and there, it doesn't matter. After he tried to strangle me to death, yeah, now it's a thing for me for some fucking reason. Don't know why, but it is. And regular vanilla shit doesn't do it for me anymore because I've been put through so much shit. I enjoy being tied up now. Like, and maybe it is the whole, and now I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if I said that already, but maybe it is the whole, like, I'm trying to rewire it in my brain into something positive. And I was introduced to sex very young, very, very young. And there were things that life happened. And maybe that's why I didn't really want to get into any serious relationships with guys in school, because how do you expect somebody like that, who's that immature, to be able to trust all of, like, this whole world that you fucking know about that they would never be able to grasp? You can't. It doesn't mix. It doesn't work. All they want to do is, like, quick wham bam, thank you ma'am. Oh, like when you're a teenager and you're just getting out there as a teenager yourself, they weren't on my level. Not mentally, not intellectually. I couldn't expect that kind of shit from my age group at the time. And I met Nick very young. I was 16 when I met Nick. And I was 17 when we started actually dating. So I had spent significant time in the beginning of our relationship researching. He tried to kill me after our second daughter, okay? And I hadn't brought none of this stuff up with him. Like, now, mind you, the kinks that I've mentioned are since I was with him. Well, except for obviously the daddy thing. It's a thing. But I also have a flip side. And that flip side definitely came from when I was with Nick. But I had researched a lot of different things beforehand because I was introduced to it very young. And I guess I had a respect enough for it not to delve into it without being educated enough on what the fuck I was doing. So, and back then it was a lot harder to find good information or good resources and connections with the right people to talk to be educated on it better. It was and still is a heavy interest of mine. I love my lifestyle. That doesn't mean I am consumed by it. I've honestly not even dipped into the community in a great many years. But my flip side stemmed from Nick cheating on me with other women. Now, I've always been bisexual. I actually was attracted to women very early on in life, way before I was with men. And I think I kind of had a distaste for men. And I guess I just didn't like the way that I saw women being treated by the men that I was around. And I kept telling myself, like, God, I wish I was born a dude. I could do such a better job making a woman feel good because, like, I know what I would want out of a relationship. And, seeing my mom be treated like shit, and it completely consumed her. She went off the fucking deep end. But, there's just, I think I'm getting off track. Let me just circle back. I don't know. I had an appreciation for the lifestyle, and when Nick showed me who he was, I knew that I couldn't trust him with that. So I didn't, but him repeatedly looking for other women after we were together for years, he decided he wanted another one. And I was like, you know what? Okay, whatever. Like, I'm not fucking you because, you've raped me, tried to kill me, roofied me, like, you've done all this shit. I really don't want you to fucking touch me. You want to fuck another bitch, whatever, go. You're not going to let me leave. We already know that. That's, why you tried to fucking kill me. So I don't care. Fuck her. But he wanted to bring her back and do the thing. So we did the thing, right? And eventually that would turn into, like, I would look for these women. And he started getting more and more specific about what he was looking for. And I do have experience in the dominant side. Okay. I've done several things over the years. I enjoy it. I just gravitate more towards the submissive side now. Probably because I'm not forced to be submissive anymore. I was that I was supposed to portray myself a certain way. And Nick wanted other people to believe that I was the one like calling all of the shots. Okay. So he would have these conversations about bills in front of other people. Of course, I'm the one that pays the bills. So everybody now knows that I'm the one that deals with all the fucking money. But what I didn't know at the time was that he was telling everybody else that I was taking all of his money and spending it on dumb shit and hiding it from him. So it's giving credence to his lie for him to do this in front of people. And it makes it look like I'm the one that's in control of him. You know what I mean? He would expect me to present myself aesthetically in a certain way. And I've been told, like, oh, you would do a lot better with your videos if you put makeup on. I don't care. I did put makeup on before, but I was trying to, like, build myself and put myself back together. I don't feel like I fucking need it. Like, this is me. Today's video is juicy and vulnerable. Enjoy this. Hi, my name's Heather. Nobody calls me that, though. Wow, that was weird to say my own name. It's still sinking in. I don't talk to people. I don't really go out and introduce myself, you know what I mean? No. I'm a very secluded individual, and I prefer my friends to be of quality, so I don't have very many. The absence of certain things in my life growing up was definitely a factor. Coffee. I remember when I was little, like little, okay? My dad would come in my room at night and he would do things to me. I don't want to get too graphic with this part because I have a serious problem with people who like children, and I don't want to give them anything to like, you know what I mean? Not going to do that. Not here. That's what you came here for. Bye-bye. But he would come in my room and do things to me at night, and I didn't understand when I was young. I remember like I was in, I think it was preschool, and they brought this person in and they were showing these videos. And by the way, those videos are so fucking damaging. Like, I don't know if they still come in and do this shit to kids anywhere, but like, we really shouldn't be showing these children videos of simulated scenarios of abuse. Like, it's fucking traumatizing. You know what I mean? The kids who don't experience that, and then all of a sudden they have to watch this video of this little kid putting on this skimpy outfit because Uncle Joe told her so. Like, no. That it was borderline like fucked up. No, it was fucked up, but it was, I can't even express. I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. But anyways, you know, they bring all these like little 5-minute clips or 10-minute clip videos in or whatever, and we're watching them and they're like, oh, raise your hand if you've had anything like this happen to you. And I unwittingly was like, me? Like, you know, I didn't know it was going to start this whirlwind of shit, because in my head, my dad was telling me like, I love you. This is what good girls do. You know, so those things now are like, give me. I want to hear that. Okay? And then, and as a little girl, you don't know. You don't know that shit's wrong. So then everybody comes in and then they rip your dad away. And then you realize it's fucking wrong. And then it kind of set the stage for everything else in your life. You're already fucked with once, so like that means that all of the creeps now can fucking come around and do shit, right? And they did. I don't know. I don't know why I was such a fucking target for that shit. But sex became such a repeated thing in my life. And it wasn't like I was asking for it. Like, I just. I didn't really fit in with kids, but I didn't fit in with adults either. And how do you don't, so you just suck into yourself. And somehow that still makes you a target. But as a kid, you're not understanding, like, you love your dad, and then they take him away, and you're like, where did it go? I want that back. Not necessarily the bad shit, but like, can I have my dad's love back? No. All that shit goes with it. And then my life turns to shit afterwards. Beating the shit out of my mom and all of that kind of shit. But being repeatedly victimized like that, I enjoy those rough, like, I don't know what it is about just regular sex. It just, my coochie's like the fucking Sahara Desert. It doesn't work in pain. I've very much become accustomed to pain, and the results that it has on me, I can't deny them even if I want to. I have a tattoo on my ass, Daddy's Little Whore. That it's who I am. I've accepted this. I've embraced this. But I don't go out and fucking search for it. I know that I am not a typical fling in the bedroom. Okay? It's I'm not just gonna go out and like one night stand that shit, you know? I can't be a hoe bag as much as I enjoy my lifestyle, the things that I do in the bedroom. I'm not going out there and giving it to fucking everybody. And they don't impress me. They They're not on my level. But growing up with all of this different stuff happening has kind of molded me into this person. And then being with Nick really kind of honed it. And when my relationship ended with him, a whole new side of me was able to breathe and be out in the open. And that's who I am today. When I was with him, he would want me to like direct what he would do with other women. You know, grab the sides of her face, hold her mouth open, and let her get it. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy that side of things too. The bad experience left a distaste in my mouth. And I'm just not ready to hop right back into that side. I want to be broken and vulnerable. But you can't just trust anybody with that. That's why when he's like, oh, she's a hoe. Am I though? Am I though? I'm not. Today's video is juicy. It was. And I didn't mean to cry, so my bad. But open and vulnerable. And, you know, part of the reason that I'm like doing this is because all of this stuff plays a role in our life together. You know, in the beginning, I was excited about it. Like, let me fucking... I want to be the bitch you fantasize about, honey. Tell me what you want, how you like it. I will. You don't want to tell me? Fine, I'll figure it out. I'll put that work in. I don't give a fuck. Because I've already been through all the bad shit. I already know what the fuck I'm doing. Now I want to have fun with it. I've been made to do this shit my whole fucking life. Now I want to do the shit I want to fucking do. I want to have the fun. And then he twisted it and warped it into all of this toxic bullshit. And I'm just like, in the end of everything, I was trying to unravel all of that and get back into a healthy state of mind to where I could truly enjoy those things again. And I think that's why I even enjoyed BDSM to begin with, was because it gave me this outlet in a world where it was okay. Like, oh, you like this shit? Cool. We like this shit too. Like, you're not weird. They didn't care why. They didn't care how. You didn't have to go through all of the awful explaining. You could if you wanted to, and if people asked, I would. I would tell them, because I was kind of half aware of this my whole life, that my traumas were becoming my kinks. You know, as a kid, when you're going through puberty and you're discovering yourself, and, you know, you're realizing like, hey, this gets some things happening. or, wow, that had an effect on me, or I didn't think I liked that much, but obviously there's something there. Like, so you start exploring those things. One of the first things I was fascinated with was lesbians. Like I said, I was attracted to women far before I was attracted to men. And I probably wouldn't have been attracted to men at all had I not been kind of forced into that. So, and having like being manhandled. Oh my God, yes. Having PTSD, you would think that I would have those flashbacks, and there are moments where I do. But as long as I'm able to keep myself in we have control over this. If we're not cool with something, we can say no. And I say we like role play and me. You know what I mean? But all of those different things definitely played a factor in why I crave those things. I like those things. There you have it. Enjoy. Keep trying. I need to tell myself that today too. We'll get there eventually.